2K Sports pregame show.
Hello and welcome, everybody. Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith. We're glad to have you with us on 2K Sports. Moments away, it'll be the Indiana Pacers going up against the Boston Celtics. Taking a look at the Celtics, this is a team they played pretty well against last season, going 3-1. They'll look to keep that edge tonight. And here in the early going, some teams already fulfilling their potential while others struggling out of the gate. Shaq, how big a deal are these initial outcomes?
Ernie, let me tell you something. I hated losing, period. Didn't matter if it was early, late, whatever. I expected to win every time out.
Well, the reality is of it, you have 82 games. So if you get too high or too low in your little value,
welcome aboard, everybody. This is Wednesday Night Basketball of the NBA on 2K Sports. Along with Greg Anthony, Clark Kellogg, and our sideline reporter, Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan. Looking at Boston, they took a win in their last game against the Spurs.
Yeah, ran away with that game, mainly in part because of their offense.
Yeah, the ball movement and player movement, so crisp and sharp, and it led to a lot of high-quality shots for them.
We've got a chance here to set the floor, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go for this one. On the floor for Boston, Thomas is the point with Bradley into his side. Kelly Olynyk is out there with David Lee, and it's Crowder in at the three.
And guys, as much as Isaiah Thomas can help you on offense, at times he can hurt you on the defensive side. And immediately posted up by whomever he's guarding, you have to get help. And of course, that leaves your defense vulnerable, particularly on the weak side and controlling that defensive backboard.
Here are the Celtics with the ball. And I think Doris Burke has something for us right now. Doris?
Brad Stevens and I got a chance to talk for a bit. This is their first matchup of the season against this squad, and he knows the shot blocking in the middle will certainly be an obstacle. But he said, quote, "We've got to remain aggressive and continue to attack." Guys, he said that putting their bigs in high pick and rolls and shooting the open jumper with confidence will be key. We'll see how they do.
Wonderful, Doris. Thanks for the report.
You know, I think he's right to be concerned about the defense they're going up against today. I mean, it's going to take some creativity for them on offense to be able to score consistently.
I think that's their primary concern. I mean, they'd be fooling themselves if they said scoring against this D is going to be easy.
And we're about a minute and a half into the first quarter. Now here is Hill. Drummond a screen. Just 5 on the clock. Indiana needs to get a shot off. And that one's good. Jokic.
Obviously a mix-up defensively on that possession.
Here's Thomas. Just about 2 minutes into the game. First quarter basketball. Kicks it to Olynyk. Releases from 15. Again, the miss by the Celtics.
Well, there was no hand in his face right there. I thought for sure he was going to knock that down.
Here's Hill. Drummond a screen. Passes it to George. Puts up a three. One up, one down. 2 points with his first shot this game.
And when he's got that much of a height advantage on the perimeter, it's really tough on the defender. Easy three-pointer.
Thomas dishes to Lee. From the stripe. Pulled the shot a little left, but the bounce goes his way. Lee's got his first basket. Indiana leading. We're about 3 minutes into this first quarter. Ellis the pass to George. Drummond a screen. And George kicks to Drummond. Outside Thomas. Nice ball movement by Boston. Here's Olynyk. Shot is off. And it's the Pacers taking it the other way. And guys, this is the first they're seeing of Boston.
Going against a conference opponent, one that outplayed them head-to-head last season, a chance for payback.
And Greg, I look at these two teams who seem to perhaps be on the verge. So these are those pecking order games where you try to get some separation.
And so it's Boston with it. The Pacers making the shot outside Bradley. There's the dish to Olynyk. Back to Bradley from outside the arc. Paul George grabs the miss. Looking at the last game for the Indiana Pacers, it was a loss to the Pistons in Detroit.
They played well enough to win that game. It really could have gone either way.
Yeah, you've got to play the entire 4 quarters. I mean, they played well for 3.5 quarters, and that's just not enough. You can't expect to win if you don't play a full game.
Now, here's George. He's coming off a 22-point game against Detroit.
You know, and in watching that game, he did a really nice job of passing the basketball, scoring, and setting up his teammates.
That's good.
I like the recognition of the mismatch there, immediately making the defense pay.
Indiana's gone 1 of 3 from beyond the arc so far in the game. Drummond with it. He's against Olynyk. And lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot 2. That one on Olynyk.
Andre Drummond is a big guy. At the NBA Draft Combine, he measured 7 feet tall with a 7'7" wingspan. And he tipped the scales at 280 pounds. That's a super heavyweight, my friends.
And he can't get the first one. And on the topic of Andre Drummond, Greg, there are a few guys in the league who combine his kind of size with the type of athleticism he possesses. Fast up and down the floor, quick off his feet, even sports a little hang time. I mean, the guy's got a full package athletically.
You talked about the raw physical tools. Then you factor in the 2 things as a big that I really value: great hands and quick feet. And he's got that going for him. So you can't go through him, you can't go around him, and you certainly can't go over him. I mean, what's left?
We can only hope to contain him, as they say. Here's George after the basket by Boston.
Hey, they got the shot they wanted off of that pick, but it just doesn't fall.
Yeah, it didn't go down, but you'll take that shot every single time, Greg. That's good offense.
Now, here's Thomas. A 20-point game for him in the win against San Antonio.
And equally as impressive, the playmaking. Just sensational. The way he was seeing the court and making the game easy for his teammates.
Lee with the block. Bradley with the ball. Turned in an outstanding game against San Antonio. Here's Olynyk. Hits the 3-point bomb. Olynyk's got his 3rd basket of the night.
There's a chance he could have a big game if they don't D him up more tightly on the perimeter.
And watching Jay Crowder, he can really beast you up, Greg, and take you out of your game. One of the most physical wings, I think, in the NBA.
And not the most flexible.
The Pacers making a change here. Mahimi's checked in, and they call the 8-second violation. Too much time getting it up court. Thomas against Hill. Outside Thomas. In the corner, Crowder with it. From downtown. And it's Ellis with the rebound.
Looking at Jay Crowder, he got traded from Dallas to Boston in the Rondo deal last season. Nobody expected all that much from him. All he did was go out and become one of the most valuable players on that team.
Thomas with the ball. He's picked up by Hill. Outside Bradley. for the three. And the rebound goes to the Pacers.
You know, when you talk about Jay Crowder, there are those that you win because of, and then there are guys like him that you win with. I mean, the guy who's going to take the charge, commit the hard foul, do what others won't, really shows the heart of a champion.
Clock at 6. They set the pick. Back to Ellis. Good. The assist goes to Hill. Ellis has got the game tied up here for the Pacers.
Picture perfect with the turnaround. There's no stopping that shot.
Thomas passes to Sullinger. Free throw line jump shot, and he gets the jumper to drop. Sullinger's got his first 2 points of the night.
Yeah, quick trigger. And from that range, if he senses the defenders have backed off, forget about it.
Now Hill looking for his first basket still in this one. Ellis against Bradley. Ellis outside. It's stolen by Bradley. Hill against Thomas. And the pass to Bradley. Sullinger the screen. To the left side wing. Wide open look. Hill pulls it in.
I didn't see that miss coming. I mean, he's usually been money from that range.
Here's Jokic. He had an 18-point outing in the last game against the Pistons in Detroit. Puts up the baby hook. Again, Indiana.
And when you've got that much of a size advantage on your defender, that's how you take advantage of it. And guys, no doubt George Hill had it rough last season. He missed the first 28 games with that left knee injury. Came back for 5, then missed another 11 games before his season got going. But you know what? He had one of his most productive years from that point on.
Looking at who's out there now for the Celtics. Johnson, he's checked in for Lee. Turner comes in for Crowder. And Smart subbed in for Bradley. Now here's Smart. Here's Johnson. First shot, first basket. He's out of the blocks fast.
He was the first one to react to that miss. Excellent anticipation on his part. A hustle play on the putback by him.
And getting back to George Hill, what a second half of the season he had. He tore up several key categories, Clark.
Yeah, he was bogged down by injuries early in the season. Came back to average career highs in points, rebounds, and assists. Partly because he was finally treated and looked to as a go-to guy, and he thrived in that role.
Now let's take a moment to get your guys' take on the scoring so far for the Celtics.
Well, they've come out of that locker room with a hot hand. Those jumpers have been falling for them.
And also, it's been a positive to watch that they've attacked the paint offensively as well. It's really been about the balance that they've shown.
Now, here is George. Just 5 on the clock. The feed to Stuckey. On the wing, Turner. And the shot falls short this time.
Well, I like the defense there. Right up in his grill, didn't give him a chance.
Outside Thomas. Johnson with a screen on Turner. Thomas with the ball. Picked up by Turner. And that one's good. Johnson's got his second bucket.
Really nice dime dropping there. Playmaking ability is exactly what you get from Isaiah Thomas.
Harris against Thomas. And George, here we go. Up top, Mahimi. There's a good screen from the arc. Rebounded by the Celtics.
No doubt it's been a bit of a struggle for him here in this quarter in terms of scoring.
And George kicks to Mahimi. Thomas against George. And foul called as he misses. He'll go to the line and shoot 2.
You know, no doubt last year a bit of a loss for Paul George. I mean, he had to sit out most of it after that gruesome leg injury in the Team USA scrimmage.
And he's got his first free throw of the game.
And from the line a season ago, 73%.
And we saw it last year, guys, because those numbers were so low. Teams weren't afraid to put him on the line where points were hard to come by for him.
Your Rebco's checked in for Isaiah Thomas. And thinking back on George's injury, still a very graphic image in everyone's mind, but he was able to bounce back.
Yeah, it was great to see him get some game time before the end of the season after that horrific injury. A credit to him working as hard as he did, as well as to the training staff that got him back to be able to play before the end of the season.
The Celtics with the lead. Turner dishes to Sullinger. And the rejection by Mahimi. It's Sullinger with the drive. Good work defensively by Turner.
Terrific job that time defending at the rim. I mean, it's not an easy task stopping that fellow when he's headed to the bucket like that. Good job. Boy, that was a pretty assist by Harris.
And here is Turner. Still getting warmed up offensively. No buckets yet in the game for him. Jerebko, the pass to Sullinger. And he banks in the layup. And the Celtics lead by 1.
Give credit where credit is due right there. A terrific assist.
The Pacers have gone 7 of 15 from the field to this point. Stuckey outside. 16 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Back to Harris. Shot clock at 5. There's the screen. Got it off in time and beat the shot clock, but it's no good. Turner. The shot no good. So at the end of 1 quarter of play, still a close game. And Celtics head coach Brad Stevens lured away from a very successful.
The only hard part of that decision is leaving a place that you really loved for 13 years. I couldn't have left without knowing that it was a place that we were going to.
I wonder if Coach Brad Stevens feels like he's recruiting another college class with all those draft picks Boston and stockpile.
Well, I don't know how he would address that question, but I do know he's feeling real good about his decision. I mean, taking the Celtics to the playoffs in just his second season. I mean, I think he's one of the bright coaching stars in the NBA today. It was the NBA's gain and college basketball's loss when he moved on to the Celtics.
Well said. Well, it's been a tight one so far as we get the second quarter going back here. And what do you guys think about Boston here in this one?
And it's really about limiting their mistakes. And early on, they've been able to do that here.
And, guys, I like what I've seen from them on the other end, forcing a few giveaways, and that's allowed them to widen that turnover margin.
On the court for the Celtics, second quarter underway. Smart and Bradley the guards. Jonas Jerebko out there with Jay Crowder. And it's Olynyk in at the 5, home in the paint. Stuckey outside. Drummond in the post, guarded by Bradley.
How about a look at the Pacers and where they ranked in the NBA last season? 3rd in opponent field goal percentage, 4th in opponent points per game, and they also showed up in the top 5 in team rebounds. That means everybody's doing their job on the boards. This is a very strong rebounding team.
And you mentioned their ranking in terms of opponent field goal percentage. Such an important stat. They did not give up the easy looks. You really had to work for whatever you got.
Looking at who's out there now for the Pacers. Monte Ellis checked in for Stuckey. And George Hills subbed in for Devin Harris. They get it back.
That's a surprise. I mean, really out of character for him to miss when the defense is not right up on it.
Now here's Smart. D right on him. Bradley kicks to Olynyk. The Celtics working the ball around now. That's in. That's his 5th field goal. He's shooting a hot 71%. 5 for 7. Pacers trail by 6.
You know, for the Pacers last season, with Paul George being out for most of the season, they knew it would be a struggle. They would go into lengthy dry spells that made it hard for them to keep pace in the East, in part because they missed Paul George's all-around brilliance and his offense.
Outside, George works a big high bounce and goes in. George has got 9 points.
Guys, that's just...
They had a number of long losing streaks last season.
Yeah, as a team, they had 4 different losing streaks of 6 or more games, and they got hot at the end. Season-high win streak of 6 to stay playoff relevant. It was just too little, too late compared to their losing streaks earlier in the year.
Hill kicks to Ellis. And we're now a little over 2.5 minutes into the second quarter. Drummond a screen. Hill drives in. Pass to Jokic. Good, and it's Hill picking up the assist. He's got 6. Boston leading by 4. Here's Smart. Kicks it out to Bradley. A shot, and it's sent back by Drummond. And he's able to get it back. Jerebko dishes to Crowder. But he recovers it. To the paint. Here's Ellis. The lead pass was put in just the right spot. Now just a 2-point Celtic lead.
Not fazed at all by having a bigger defender on him down low, and I really thought he would be.
You know, at first glance, you wouldn't think that he'd be comfortable in that particular situation, but, well, I tell you what, he didn't look like he was out of his element at all right there.
Jerebko can't get it to go. The Pacers have gone 3 of 4 from the floor here in the second quarter. And the basket by Hill.
3 consecutive baskets have come right at the rim. The defense had better start buckling down and tightening up.
Guys, they are getting exposed in terms of their low post defense.
They get a hand on it. And oh, here we go with George.
That happened. Yeah, how about the sharp steal and then run out? It looks like they're ready to put the hammer down.
Well, we've been waiting for one of these teams, Greg, to pull away. Maybe that'll be a springboard for them.
Could be. A dunk like that coming off a great defensive play has to build some momentum.
That was a nice replay brought to you by Kia. And the basket by Olynyk.
That's exactly why you don't leave your feet until the shooter elevates. He went for that pump fake, hook, line, and sinker.
Ellis kicks to Hill. Pass to Jokic. Ellis goes in. 6 on the shot clock. Now here's Bradley, the fast break opportunity. Here's Crowder. Dishes to Smart. Bradley, no one around him. His 3-pointers off the mark. Pacers have gone 5 of 6 so far from the field in the second quarter. And George kicks to Drummond. Outside Hill. Now here's Drummond. Olynyk is covering. Ellis left side. Back to Drummond. Ellis can't get it to go. Boston's gone 1 of 2 on 3-pointers here in the second quarter so far. Smart kicks to Crowder. And it's Paul George with the foul. That is his first foul of the game. Boston making some changes. Lee comes in for Jerebko. And it's Isaiah Thomas in for Smart.
David Lee. Isaiah Thomas.
On defense, the Pacers. Thomas kicks to Olynyk. To the paint. Here's Lee, and that's in. Nice feet on the play. Lee's got his second basket of the game.
Man, can you always depend on him or what to lead you to the right place with that pass? Money.
Well, David Lee with the Golden State Warriors began his career with the New York Knicks. We're talking about him and his play, and it's sometimes hard to get a good compass on what kind of player he is.
Yeah, you know, he was drafted 30th when he came out and certainly played above that draft slot. Then when he re-upped for the 6 years, $80 million, people started to wonder if he was able to play to that value.
Lee is screen on Hill. Here's Bradley. Rebound Andre Drummond.
He's going to play his way right onto the bench and out of the game if he continues to shoot it like he has so far in this quarter.
Nobody near George. Good, and it's Hill picking up the assist. Hill's got his 4th assist in this one.
And he is really in a zone right now, playing and scoring with confidence.
Time called here. The Celtics decide to talk it over.
Just trying to get a break in the action to clear some heads here. I mean, they've gone ice cold, and not a bad idea to give them a little quick breather.
Yeah, they needed the timeout here. Anything to try to get them to forget about the missed shots and get themselves back on track.
Sullinger's checked in for Boston. Turner comes in for Jay Crowder. And here's George for 3. Oh, he got hacked on the three-pointer. He'll head to the line. It's on Jared Sullinger.
And we all know about Paul George and his injury while with Team USA. I mean, he has still said that he would consider playing international ball.
And this is his 2nd trip to the line tonight. For George to be eager to go back and represent the U.S. in international play is a brave move.
Yeah, I think, Kevin, a lot of it might be that he just wants to put that in the past and move on. And sometimes you do that best by confronting things head on. The only way to have that be the past is to keep playing for his country.
Bradley against Stuckey. Bradley kicks to Thomas. Screen by Lee. Lee sets a screen for Bradley. 5 to shoot. Here's Sullinger. Lays it up and banks it in. Sullinger's got his 3rd bucket of the night.
They have repeatedly probed inside in the first half, guys, and it's paid dividends.
And with as many points as they've gotten in the paint, you know, they haven't had to do much work on the perimeter.
Stuckey against Bradley. Harris outside. Here's Stuckey. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
And here's a look at some stats for Rodney Stuckey. Last season's performance for him, he was around 12 points a game, 3 assists and 3 rebounds. And those numbers solid. Not spectacular, and sometimes what you see is what you get.
He certainly knows his role, and he gives you some good minutes. That's really all you can expect from him at this point.
And the 2nd free throw, good. It was a tough battle down the stretch, but the Celtics were able to get back into the playoffs last year.
And kind of just hovering around all season, but give them credit. They fought their way in and spent only 1 year out of the postseason in their rebuild.
Turner with the steal. To the middle. Stuckey can't get it to go.
You know, for the Celtics, the actual playoff series didn't go well. They got swept by the Cavaliers, but most people will remember the injuries from the series more than the play, and the Celtics have a bright future, no doubt.
Thomas against Harris. He feeds it to George. To the middle. Here's Turner. Thomas with the steal. And now the fast break. Thomas with the ball. Count that one. Thomas got his 2nd bucket of the night.
Just a good, solid, aggressive finish there on the break.
Not going to get much easier than that, Greg. Simple.
Well, listen, it was a forgettable series for Celtics fans. However, the Celtics' young core were able to experience postseason basketball. That's something that you can really never replicate. I'm sure they'll be hungry for more of it, and credit Brad Stevens on a terrific job.
Sullinger with the bucket.
That makes it 10 of their last 12 points coming from inside the painted area.
And really something that the defense has to address.
Outside, George. They set the pick. Six to shoot. On the way, Harris. Beyond the arc. They get it again. Mahinmi passes to Harris. To the inside. Tries again. Count it. And the Celtic lead has been cut down now to just 2 points with that basket from Mahinmi.
Just lazy defense on the glass there.
Well, nobody boxed out. Nobody put a body on anybody else. Things like that not only drive the coach crazy, that stuff gets under my skin.
Now a timeout called by Boston. And guys, over the last 2 seasons, Devin Harris has been a backup point guard, but one could argue that he's outperformed the guys that are directly ahead of him.
That's exactly right, Kevin. I mean, Harris came back to the team that he started his career with to be a support player, but injuries, trades, and generally poor fits elevated Harris's importance to the team.
Johnson's checked in for lead. The Celtics with the lead.
You know, getting back to Devin Harris, he can really help you. But you want to do one thing, limit his minutes. 11 full seasons under his belt. Slender in build. It's best to play him around half the game if you can.
And that is good.
And good passing, setting up a lot of these buckets right now, Kevin. That's been the key.
Time-dropping delights is what I call it.
Yeah, that's a nice pass. I will give you that.
Yeah, he was on the money, there's no doubt. Indiana's gone 0-2 from deep here in the second.
You know, talking about the veteran Harris, his quickness was still apparent last season. And his skill set was a good fit for Coach Carlisle's flow offense. I mean, this guy's been around a long time, and there are very few that are quicker than him with the ball.
Down to 5 on the shot clock. And George, here we go. And the wide open shot from Stuckey. The shot's good on the assist by George.
A little bit of a defensive breakdown there. He's not the guy you want to leave open on the perimeter. You've got to stay attached to him.
Boston's gone 1-2 on three-pointers here in the second quarter so far. Johnson the screen. Outside Brantley. He kicks it to Thomas. And they come right back with their own three-pointer. Thomas got 7.
And not a great start for him in the first, but he's quickly starting to turn it around.
Feeds to Stuckey. 1:05 left now here in the second. Back to Harris. He dishes it to Turner. Kicks it to Mahinmi. And there are the Pacers with another bucket.
Yeah, that's asking a lot from that defender.
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, he just doesn't have the size to really be effective in that kind of matchup.
Bradley against Stuckey. Thomas a screen on Stuckey. Inside, here's Sullinger. Scored the bucket. He's made 5 so far, shooting a very clean 5 of 7.
And since the first quarter, we've seen him ease off on that long-range affair. And frankly, that's probably a good idea.
I know there's some teams out there that would prefer to just shoot their way out of a slump, but, you know, getting a few to drop from in close or inside the arc is often a good way to get your whole offense going.
Mahinmi dishes to Stuckey. Stuckey with another miss. Outside Brantley. Here's the 3. A second chance effort. And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact and he'll shoot 2.
Clearly a foul.
Yeah, he took a shot there. Earned those free throws.
The Celtics shooting their first free throws of the game. And that one misses. Good on the second free throw. And it's Harris off the drive. He knocks it down, but wait a minute. The officials are getting together. They may want to review this one. And the teams are going to have to wait before heading to the locker room. They're going to bring out the monitor and see if he got that shot off in time.
And honestly, guys, in real time, I couldn't really see whether he got it off in time. But with the benefit of replay, It seems pretty clear that the clock expired just before the release.
And you know, as a player, you're aware of that clock ticking down on you, but within that last fraction of a second, it's really hard to know when you're focusing on your release and the defenders if you waited just a split second too long.
Well, the ruling is in, and the call stands. No baskets, so no change, Clark, in the scoreboard as we end the quarter.
Smart decision to review the shot. That was indeed very close to being legitimate.
And the first half comes to a close. We've got a close game going on.
Thanks, Kevin. I'm here.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
And an exhilarating first half, to be sure. Welcome back. I'm Ernie Johnson alongside Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. We'll be breaking. Boston found themselves in a close game in the first. They never trailed by more than 3 points, and it was neck and neck the entire. All right, that is going to wrap up our halftime report as it's just about time for the start.
We have a close ball game on our hands as we get set for the second half of basketball. You look at Paul George in this game, guys, he's been everywhere.
And in terms of points in that first half, you know, he's now at a point where we expect him to perform that way.
And, Greg, that tells you all you need to know about what a talent he is. I mean, I'll bet he adds a lot more to his totals after the break.
Ellis is out there with Hill. Then there's Andre Drummond. Then it's Paul George. So that's the group out there for Indiana. Everyone knows about the Paul George injury from last year and how it affected the Pacers. He said almost the entire season, and there was no doubt they missed it.
Yeah, and when George came back, Kevin, the Pacers got hot, but they had to put him on a minutes limit. And it wasn't just George, though. The team as a whole had a lot of injuries during the course of the season.
Right side, Bradley. Can't capitalize on the good pick.
Can't get anything to drop. I mean, the way he's going, it's probably not something he should try and shoot his way out of.
Well, they say you should shoot your way out of it, but his teammates probably have other thoughts in mind. The last thing they want to see him doing is continuing to cast that jumper up.
There's the bucket. Good. And that's... Now 9 points for Isaiah Thomas.
And, you know, as you said, the Pacers did have problems with injuries. The team roster missed 219 games due to injury. So compare that to the 69 games missed by the Pacers in 2014. Big difference.
And George kicks to Ellis. 5 on the clock. Puts it up from 17. Offensive rebound, Pacers. Hill. And the rebound paying off as they pick up 2 on the second chance bucket right there.
You got to love the big bucket in the paint in this sort of grinded out physical game.
That's the kind of look they can continue to go with. Maybe that'll help them create some separation on the scoreboard.
They set the screen. Thomas passes to Crowder. Lee, a screen on George. Here's Crowder. And too long on the shot.
Man, really, guys, the most telling part of the Pacers' injury troubles was this. Had to use 15 different starting lineups over the course of the season. Just hard to stay consistent and competitive when you are always replacing an injured player in the lineup.
Hill against Thomas. 17-foot shot on the way. Count the bucket. Thomas got 4 points in the quarter.
He shot the ball exceptionally well as they've built this lead for themselves here.
Hill kicks to Ellis. Well, we're into the third quarter, just over 2.5 minutes played. Now here is Hill. He has 6. To the inside, Jokic. Drummond dishes to George. Hill with it. There's a screen. Now Ellis. Drummond a screen. Hill against Thomas. That one's in there. The Boston lead is cut to just 3 points on the basket from Hill.
And don't be surprised if we see a lot more of that to come. I mean, when he gets going like this, it is not easy to slow him down.
Thomas goes in, and it's sent back by Hill. And so it looks like the Celtics will retain possession here. Thomas passes to Bradley. Shot clock at 6. All alone. And Olynyk with the basket on the assist by Bradley. 16 points for Kelly Olynyk. Pacers trail by 5. Here's Hill. He's got 8. Drummond with a screen on Thomas. Hill drives in. Here's Drummond. The shot misses. Now Boston takes it the other way. The Wizards on the road to face them after this game. That game will be a quick pit stop before hitting the road again. Now here's Crowder. Not a lot of room. Takes a 3. It's rebounded by Indiana. George has got his 5th rebound right now in the game.
He still hasn't been able to convert from the field. He's just struggling to find his shot.
Boston leading by 5. Outside Thomas. Here's Olynyk. No good with the triple.
You know, even though he missed that three-point shot, I think the defense has to do a better job of challenging the shot.
Yeah, as a coach, you can really ill afford to have those types of opportunities presented against your defense.
Last season, the Celtics had a solid 19-22 road record, Clark. Not the 500 mark most teams want, but a very good effort from a young team, and no one really expected that.
Yeah, and you think about this team that's still growing and has a lot of youth. I mean, that kind of road record, very impressive. Their fans should be feeling pretty good about what the future holds with this group.
Jerebko's checked in for Boston.
And David Lee missing time early last season with that hamstring injury also opened the door up for Draymond Green to kind of take that starting power forward role. And give Lee credit, though. Didn't sulk, just threw himself into his new role as a super sub.
And a moment here to take a look at some hustle stats for Boston.
The activity level defensively, I've really been impressed with. There's been an attack mode on the defensive end.
They've repeatedly gotten out on the break tonight as well and scored a lot of baskets in transition.
Drummond a screen, and George kicks to Hill. That falls. Nice speed that time from George. George has got 3 assists tonight. Greg, you're talking about David Lee, the 2-time All-Star. Pretty much a starter most of his career, though. A big change, Clark, as he came off the bench this past season after he was injured in the preseason.
Yeah, you know, you think about his game, though, Kevin. Highly skilled, mobile, smart. Gives you energy and scoring. I think he's ideal coming off the bench.
It's out of bounds. They are saying it was last touch by Lee. The Pacers making a switch here. Stuckey's checked in. And then for Boston, Jared Sullinger's checked in for Lee. And Turner's subbed in for Thomas. Pacers trail by 5. And here is Hill. He's got 10. Screen by Ellis. There's a good screen. And it's Hill penetrating. Layup off the pick. And the shot is good.
A lot of space right there to get that shot off.
Not a very good job of the defender getting over the top of that screen in that particular play.
Passes it to Olynyk. shoots from the baseline. Hill pulls it in.
That's not a sight you see very often. I mean, he has a great feel for that jump shot, especially when he's open.
Boston leading by 3. Jerebko dishes to Turner. Got a piece of it. And oh, here we go. Hill, nobody back. The big dunk at the end of the break.
And guys, that's a big swing right there. I mean, taking the steal and then turning it into 2 easy points on the dunk.
No telling how important that sequence could turn out to be.
And guys, in a game this snug, moments like that are the ones we usually look back on at the end as a difference maker.
Jerebko can't get it to go. Pacers have gone at a pretty good shooting pace. They're 6 of 13 from the field here in the third. Boston's gotten blank from three-point land so far in the third. Still 0 for 3. The dish to Crowder. And there's the pass to Jerebko. Here's Sullinger. Boston again missing. It's a neck-and-neck game here in Indiana. Here's Hill. Here's Jokic. He's got 8. And Drummond kicks to Hill. 6 to shoot. Drummond a screen. And it's Hill penetrating. Out of bounds. Pacers ball as Indiana keeps possession. And some changes here for the Celtics. Johnson, he's checked in for Kelly Olynyk. And Marcus Smart is subbed in for Jay Crowder. Clock is at 3. Near the three-point line, it's Ellis, and it's good with time running down on the shot clock. Ellis has got 6, and not even 3/4 out of the way. So many lead changes.
One heck of a game. I mean, guys, this has been outstanding in terms of the effort that both sides have been able to put on.
Looking over there at Greg, he's enjoying every second of it.
Yes,
Yeah.
Listen, the fans, guys, are getting their money's worth. Heck, I should have paid to watch this one. It's been a nail biter.
Back to Harris. Down low, Mahinmi passes to Turner, and he jams it with authority.
Explosive leaping ability.
Oh, that was pretty, and he just has that, Clark, that effortless knack for getting inside.
And guys, how about how fearsome he is at times? I mean, you'd hate to be the guy tasked with guarding him.
Indiana leading. Now here's Ellis. He's got 6. They set the pick. To the middle, Mahinmi with it, out-guarded by Smart, and he gets it to go. Mahinmi's got 8.
They are not rotating nearly quickly enough on defense down low. Got to get quicker there.
Just no resistance on the interior.
Johnson dishes to Jerebko. The feed to Turner. From 12 feet out, and he gets it to go. Here's Indiana now. They're on a 12-4 run. Harris kicks to Mahinmi. Stuckey outside, pass to Harris. And good coming on the assist by Rodney Stuckey. Harris has got the lead up to 3 now for Indiana. Now here's Smart. He's guarded by Stuckey. Rejected by Harris. To the paint. Stuckey with it. He's against Jerebko. Harris with it. Ellis outside. Here's the screen. Pass to Stuckey. Beyond the arc. And that one's good. Stuckey's got 7 points.
And guys, we've seen teams hire college coaches with no NBA experience before. It hasn't always worked out. But for Boston, they have to be very pleased with Brad Stevens.
Bradley's checked in for Boston.
All right, fans, that was your K-States. Let's let them know how great they were and make some noise.
1:33 left in the third quarter of the game. At the elbow, it's Smart. Dishes it to Johnson. Lays it up and in off the pretty assist. He's got 9.
Very high-quality shot. Can't get enough of those.
Pacers leading by 4. Harris passes to Stuckey. 1:07 left in the third quarter. Back to Harris. Just 5 to shoot. Over in the corner, Ellis from the arc. Basket is good. The assist from Harris. And it's 9 points for Ellis.
Yeah, how about the percentage they're shooting from beyond the arc here in the second half?
Greg, no question about it. They found a nice rhythm from D.
Oh, and the jam by Johnson.
And he just leaves the D in the dust and explodes to the basket.
You're right. Clark, maybe a momentum changer right there, huh?
It could be, Kevin. I mean, a dunk like that can sometimes get an opponent reeling.
Turner with a screen for Harris. Left side, Turner shoots off the screen, and there are the Pacers with another bucket.
And really, the defense didn't do a lot to fight around that screen on that possession.
Turner dishes to Johnson. Sullinger is screen on Turner. Johnson kicks to Sullinger. He feeds it to Bradley. Will not go. This is off the front iron.
He's given them little to nothing at the offensive end. I can't put it any other way.
And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
And with the offense getting right to the rim, at least they saved the layup.
Old school D right there, just telling them no easy layups. It's as simple as that. And that's what you expect from them.
The first free throw is good. And Harris drops them both. Here's Smart. And released it in time, but it's off the mark. And that's going to do it for the third quarter. Pacers lead by 9. And after a quick break, we're going to come. The fourth quarter just moments away now as we welcome you back. Celtics trail by 9, and a look at the 5 for the Celtics to start the fourth quarter. Thomas is the point with Bradley to his side. David Lee is out there with Kelly Olynyk, and it's Crowder in at the 3 slot. Lee left side, and it's sent back by Drummond. Here's Stuckey. Good. The assist goes to Hill. Hill's got 6 assists in the game. And let's get your guys' take now on the hustle stats for Indiana.
Their defense has been outstanding, closing out on shots and blocking a few as well.
They've worked hard tonight at crashing the boards as well. They've had a bunch of second chance points.
And Bradley gets it to go. Pacers leading by 9. And George kicks to Hill. Fourth quarter of basketball. We're about a minute into it. Down low. Outside for George. Drains the three-pointer. George has got 20 points.
And that tells you a lot about why the score is where it is. Lazy defense.
Now Bradley. It's tipped.
A good board there, Kevin, but overall they're getting slightly out-rebounded.
And that's a good place to start if you're going to try to find your way back into this game. Get to work on the glass. Boy, he's just dangling from the rim after sending it through there.
You can see which team now has the swagger, Clark, right now.
Yeah, exactly. It's with them.
And, guys, that swagger can backfire because you don't want to get your opponent a little too riled up. And you know what? Very close to a three-point play right there.
Yeah, he almost got that one down. I mean, those are the kind of aggressive plays coaches love to see.
And Isaiah Thomas, traded last season from Phoenix over to Boston, seemed to be a matter of fit and not production as to why they moved him.
Outside Hill. And we're around 2 minutes into the fourth quarter here.
Indiana foul call. Nikola Jokic. That's his second personal foul.
Celtics trail by 13. Outside Bradley. He kicks the lead. Now here's Crowder. He's guarded closely. Thomas gets a wide open look. Thomas with another miss. Greg, you were talking about Isaiah Thomas. He had no love lost for the Suns. In their first meeting, he took them apart, Clark, on the floor. Remember that game? Stared them down as he was hitting shots, looked at that bench. Man, he had a big chip on his shoulder.
Yeah, and you know, most guys that are a little undersized and have battled doubters all their careers bring that kind of edge anyway. You throw in the fact that he was disappointed how the trade unfolded. He was amped up and ready for that return visit.
And George with the stuff.
The lead just grows on that ridiculous offensive sequence.
You know, Clark, that dunk alone would have been spectacular. Never mind it coming at the end of an alley-oop.
Yeah, that just added more to it.
And you know, guys, right now, they're starting to flatline, just hanging on here for dear life.
They set the pick. Crowder kicks to Olynyk. Hits the jumper in space.
Assisted by Jay Crowder. Timeout charged.
Timeout called the Pacers. Well, the Pacers, despite all their injuries from last season, were right in the playoff hunt until the very end. Had a chance, in fact, GA, on the last day to sneak in, but it didn't happen.
Yeah, they needed a Brooklyn loss to go along with them winning that last game. Ultimately, though, it wasn't in the cards for them, and they ended a game out of the postseason.
Let's find out what Doris Burke has for us.
Hey, Kevin, during that last break, I heard Frank Vogel addressing his team. He said to them, the lead we've got now is nice, but I want to make it even nicer. This is when we put the hammer down. It doesn't look like he's ready to back off just yet, guys.
There's a screen. Here's Bradley. And a miss there on the triple.
And, you know, the Pacers had made the playoffs in each of the last 4 seasons prior to last year's miss. Hard for a team that was coming off back-to-back conference finals appearances to stomach that. But with the injuries, they'll be better and back in the playoffs next year, I'm sure.
Ellis, who's checked in for Indiana.
And really, it's going to be more of a reload than a rebuild situation for the Pacers. You would have to imagine their goal isn't just to get back to the playoffs, but to get back to being a conference final participant.
His eyes were wide open there, guys. Excellent vision to see they had an open shot outside and get it there.
And here is Hill. Back to Ellis. Five to shoot. It's back to Hill. Takes the three. Yes, and it's Ellis picking up the assist. Ellis has got 4 assists now tonight.
And they clearly are just destroying this group right now from the three-point line.
Yeah, and the defense knows it. I mean, they are fully stretched out trying to stop the three-point shot and still haven't been able to do it.
Just a solid performance on the interior has been off the charts.
Yeah, you look across the board, it's actually sizing up, shaping up to be a great game. I mean, strong performances throughout, and they've really been strong on the glass.
And there's a nice one-handed slam.
And Kevin, that's a little taste of what can happen when the big guy takes it up strong.
Well, I guess he does have it in him, then, to get up off the ground when he needs to and rock it to the rim.
Yeah, you know, guys, he's never going to elevate that high, but he compensates and makes up for it with his height.
Screen by Lee. Lee sets a screen for Bradley. And that one hits back iron.
He's gotten a lot of individual defensive attention all game long, and I think it's really bothered him and thrown him off.
Out of bounds, Boston takes possession.
No clue. A brutal.
Celtics trail by 18. Thomas passes to Bradley. And that's out of bounds. Boston will retain possession.
And really no choice but to lunge for that pass to make sure it didn't get through.
Yeah, and that was important. Probably would have been a quick 2 points if he doesn't get a hand on it and knock it out of bounds.
Pacers on defense. They've allowed just 7 points here in the fourth quarter.
The defense has really gotten into his head a little bit here. He's not playing with any kind of confidence right now. Boy, I tell you what, nice little run here they're going on.
And getting to the 10 has been the key. They're getting point-blank looks time and time again. Here's more, but really in the rebounding numbers as well.
And what I like about it, Greg, it's been a physical brand of basketball. It's had a little sandpaper element to it, gritty and rough. But that's how you win games.
Thomas outside. It's Drummond with the rebound. Drummond's got his 7th rebound of the game with that last one. Ellis with it. Now guarded by Bradley. Pick up by Hill. Drummond with a screen on Bradley. Ellis dishes to Hill. Just 5 on the clock. That's good. Hill's got a pair of threes here in the fourth quarter for the Pacers.
He is pouring it on in the second half, guys. I mean, a much better showing than he had before the break.
Hill against Thomas. Knocks it loose. Hill kicks to Ellis. And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot 2.
Take a look at what Ellis has done so far. He has 11 points, and his huge assist tally makes it all the more impressive.
You know what? He's the catalyst. He's the reason why this team plays with such harmony. And if his passing continues, they are going to be dangerous.
Boston making a switch here. Sullinger's checked in. Monte Ellis has always had a knack for the big shot. When things are on the line, he is a guy that is not afraid to step up.
And Kevin, last season, he had a number of big second halves and fourth quarters for the Mavs. Really took over that primary scoring role from Dirk Nowitzki. Stole a lot of games for them last season. A tough first half, but it's been a different story here since the break.
Bradley against Ellis. Bradley passes to Crowder. Now here's Olynyk. Defense is right there, and Bradley gets it to go.
Yeah, Monte did have a lot of big second halves for the Mavs last season. Seems like at least half a dozen games for them, he would just take over. Started to get looked at as the top go-to guy late.
They set the pick. Hill passes to Jokic. Oh, and there's the...
Surreal alley-oop that time, partner.
The pass, Clark, the catch, the dunk, all of it perfect.
Precision at its finest.
And guys, it had to be, because not nearly as easy a play as they made it look.
And the basket by Olynyk.
And when you've got a big man who can shoot from distance like that, what a huge advantage.
Timeout charged to the Pacers.
Timeout called the Pacers.
Well, you could see a change in the play with the Celtics after the trade deadline last year. Adding Isaiah Thomas gave them some pop off the bench and really created some balance for them offensively.
So Boston going with almost an entire new group here. Jerebko's checked in for Olynyk. Turner comes in for Jay Crowder. Marcus Smart's checked in for Avery Bradley. And it's Rozier in for Thomas. Indiana's gotten 3 of their 6 three-pointers to fall here in the fourth. Here's Harris. Feeds it to Turner. And down it goes. Dunked through off a wonderful assist.
The shooting percentage continues to elevate here in the second half.
Well, as a group, they've been harmonic since the break. In sync. Good team basketball resulting in high-quality shots.
And that was something the Celtics needed, adding Thomas, a player that could come in and provide Clark instant offense for them off the bench.
And, Kevin, I think that was a turning point for them last year. I mean, they saw that they had a chance to make a big leap forward after the trade and responded accordingly.
Just 5 to shoot. Here's Harris. That 3 off the mark. Boston's gone into a funk from downtown in the fourth. Only 1 of their 5 three-pointers has found the bottom of the bucket.
Wow, the floor just really opened up for him on that possession.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for good offense, but that was just a terrible reaction from the defense.
And the replay, of course, presented by Kia. What a play. Now here's Ellis. They double-team Ellis. Inside, here's Turner. and he was fouled in the act of shooting. Chance here now for a three-point play.
Yeah, how about that one? Able to maintain control and finish the play.
Yeah, we call that playing through the whistle. You know, he didn't give up on it when he heard the whistle. He kept his focus, his concentration, and he found a way to get the shot up and down.
Catching up on the changes now for Indiana. Andre Drummond's checked in for Mahinmi. Paul George comes in for Chase Budinger, and it's Hill in for Devin Harris. Crowder dishes to Thomas. Pulls up, high post. Here's Olynyk, and he was fouled in the act of shooting. Chance here now for a three-point play.
Really, they haven't worked it inside as much as they did earlier in the game. And the way they did it in the first half, I think they've got to get back to trying that. It worked for them then. It should work for them now.
Mahinmi's checked in for Indiana. Harris comes in for Monte Ellis. And then for Boston, Jerebko's checked in for Jared Sullinger. Turner comes in for Crowder. And Smart subbed in for Bradley. The Celtics shooting only 35% in the fourth quarter. The offense looking a little rickety. Harris against Turner. We've got 1:28 left in the fourth quarter. Jerebko kicks to Olynyk.
And the thing with Kelly Olynyk, he does some stuff that really helps you, and some also that will hurt. I mean, he's highly skilled. He's got the deep range, textbook positioning in terms of the post. A lot of tricky moves down there. Yet he has a hard time being effective against great athletes, which the NBA is filled with. So he's going to have to evolve as a basketball player if he wants to be effective.
Harris kicks to George. George double teamed. Indiana moving the ball around. And it's Mahinmi finishing it off.
And one team is just completely outclassing the other tonight. Spirited performance, and it really ignited what is turning out to be a monster win here for the Pacers.
And this was one that never really was in doubt, I thought, Stephen Clark. An all-around dominant performance. Clark, and you kind of thought that maybe even going into the game.
I certainly did, and they just cracked it open and made it an NC. No contest.
Yeah, I like that. And it'll go down as their first official win of the new year.
And it's always nice to get win number one against an opponent you'll be seeing a total of 4 times over the course of the year. They really set the tone tonight for their season series against the Celtics.
And as we've come to expect, another big game tonight and an impressive exhibit for Paul George. And you have to love the effort he put forth on the glass. He played with a fire no one else could match as he chased down those rebounds.
6 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. No one near Turner as he lets it go. And the Pacers tack on 2 more.
I don't want to say they're trying to run up the score here, but they do keep adding to the lead.
Well, I know you don't want to say it, but I will, partner. I mean, they're trying to run the score up here. It's plain and simple. They're trying to throw salt all in that wound.
It's Thomas outside. So no problem for Indiana as they get the win. They won this game going away. They were the better basketball team, Clark, by far tonight.
No question about it, Kevin. They certainly gave their fans plenty to scream and holler about. This place was rocking. It was on fire. And it only got louder as that lead got bigger.
Guys, Paul George standing by with me here. And Paul, first, congratulations on
the 2K Sports post-game show.
Ernie Johnson here again with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny Smith. Without further ado, let's present to you our Jordan player of the game, Paul George. He's racked up a double-double with points and rebounds tonight, and that made the difference. A terrific effort on both sides of the floor. And that wraps things up, folks. Thanks for joining us. For Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith, Kevin Harlan,